and welcome to the BBPN Show. My name is Melissa Williams and I will be your guest host. We're going to have a great show for you, very informative, exciting, and fun. We're going to have dancers, singers, celebrities, celebrities, rappers, producers, artists, entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So just sit back and enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the BBPN Show. Today we're here at the Hole-in-One Bagel in Neptune with Jerry and Dean, the owners of the Hole-in-One Bagel, and they're going to tell us the secret of making bagels. Hi, and welcome to the BBPN Show.
Thank you. Hello.
Can you give us a little background history on making bagels?
Oh, absolutely. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for coming to the store and to see what a real bagel, how a real bagel is made.
You're very welcome.
Team Ross has been making bagels for 35 years in Monmouth County.
Wow.
And when Dean introduced me to this process, I was convinced that this is the way it's done, the way it's been done, and it's the only true way to make a true bagel. So we start by making all the doughs fresh. You can buy a frozen bagel, you can buy a pre-made bagel, but we choose not to do that. And quality is paramount in everything we do. So I'm going to let Dean explain what goes into the bagels, and all the doughs we make are made the day before we bake them.
And just let me interrupt. I don't think that a frozen bagel can compare to coming here and getting one of your bagels made right here on the spot. Go ahead.
Yes, bagels are really like any bread product. It's the heart of your soul. And bagels, one of the theories that bagels came from, there was a king in Poland. It started in 1492, and he won this big war, but he loved to ride horses. So this baker made a bagel shape of a horse stirrup that was round. So that was one of the theories, and then it was throughout Europe, and then it came to this country. And we've continued the old recipe that's been handed down. And what Jerry said, the bagels are made the day before. We add flour and we add ingredients, we mix it, and then the whole process. There are now machineries that work the bagels, but we also hand roll bagels.
Let me ask you a question. How long have you been making bagels?
Actually over 35 years.
And how did you learn?
Well, I actually learned from an old bagel baker. It was handed down, father to son, and I was an apprentice, and I learned. I had plenty of mistakes, and it just continued. But the bagel business has it's actually the third most read item behind dry bread.
Okay. So the process of making bagels is not something that can be done in one day. It's not that simple.
Correct.
So how long is the process actually?
Well, it's actually a 2-day process because you're making the bagels the day before, and then they're put into a proof box. Actually put into a refrigerated. Yes.
Okay. All right. Great.
And then the following day, you're baking the bagels.
So just so you know, it takes a lot of work to run a small business and a lot of preparation to even just make bagels in the morning. And you're going to teach us how to do that today, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Right. Now we're going to mix the bagel dough, and we have a 50-pound bag of flour in here, and I'm adding the malt syrup. And we add salt and a soybean extract. And I like to use fresh yeast. There are different kinds of yeast. There's yeast from Europe. This is...
What's the difference if you didn't use fresh yeast with what's going to happen?
Well, everybody has their own style. It's a slower process. It's a slower process, and I think it makes a better bagel. And when you're working in the shop, there's a lot of heat generated from the oven.
Can you tell us what type of bagel you're making today?
Today we're making a white dough. The white dough means it's the most popular bagels, which will bake plain poppy sesame, everything, garlic, onion, and
All this comes from this one batch?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Now, this will yield 21 dozen bagels.
Wow.
The 50-pound bag. And the flour we use is a high gluten flour. And the high gluten flour actually comes from the northern states of the country. So it's a high quality flour. Now it mixes for about 20-25 minutes. So I added all the ingredients. Now I'm going to put the safety guard down. I'm going to now it's mixing.
How long does it take to mix this all together?
It's about 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
Now, in the winter, the air is a little drier, so you adjust your water level. And in the summer, where there's high humidity in the air, again, you adjust it the other way.
So are you saying you need more
Water in the
in
winter.
the winter?
Yes.
Okay. And does the temperature of the water make a difference? Is
Yes.
it need to be tepid? What is it?
No, it's room temperature,
Okay.
but the yeast will. It's a natural process for the bagel dough to rise. So after this is mixing for 20-25 minutes, we will put it on the bagel machine
Okay.
and you'll be able to see the process.
Okay, now we're at the second phase, or the next phase of the bagel making process, which is?
Well, after the dough has been, the ingredients have been put into the mixer and it's mixed for about 30 minutes. Now we're going to take the dough out and we're going to prepare it to form the bagels. So the dough gets cut into strips. We put it up here. So after the dough's been mixed and we've put it onto our table, we prepare it to be cut into the actual shape of the bagel. So we slice the dough and we put it on our bagel divider and former machine. The first phase divides the dough. You'll see the dough come out here in bars. After the dough is formed into a bar, it comes into our former. And this gives the general shape of the bagel. You'll see the dough come out here. If you could pan over to there, now you'll see the bagels coming out in the general shape.
So the thing is this a two-person process? Because
Could be.
as you cut, someone has to be over here to make sure they grab the bagels from the belt itself?
Could be. One person can do it. It is much more efficient if you can do more than one.
Okay.
The bagel machine has eliminated the process of hand rolling all the bagels. But we still hand roll the specialty bagels, the mini bagels, the bagel breads, the bagel boards we make.
And why is that?
Because, again, it's a different size, shape,
Okay.
and there's, of course, there's bench work to be done.
Okay.
Especially now with the parties, people are conscious of calories, so the mini bagels are become very popular, and also babies teething. I recommend
that's a great idea.
people putting mini bagels in the freezer,
Oh,
and then
never thought
the
about
bagels.
that.
It's just for years I've even given out mini bagels to customers when they come in with the baby cabbage.
Okay.
So it's
So so this machine just is more efficient for making a lot of bagels at one time. than most
Yes.
everybody's. Okay.
yes.
Okay, so tell us what's happening now.
Okay, so after the bagels, the dough has been prepared, the bagels have been formed, we now let the yeast do the work. The yeast is the key to any bread, any bread's flavor and texture. what we have to do is we take our bagels and we put them in what's called a proof rack inside a proof bag. And we precisely wait for the right time for the yeast to achieve its goal, and that is to raise the bread. Okay? If we let it raise too long, the bagels will be big, airy dough balls.
And I've had those before.
And if we don't let them rise enough, you will have little tiny brick doughs.
Okay.
So we will now wait and watch our bagels until precisely the right time. Once the bagels have achieved the amount of rise that we are looking for, we will put them into our walk-in, which is known as a retarder, because it retards the growth of the yeast. That's the final step before we will bake the bagels tomorrow morning.
And this process, because you're saying it takes a while to learn, right? When you first start learning how to make a bagel, this is not something that you just know, because you're not exactly looking for a specific time, are you?
No, I trained under Dean for about 3 months to understand the process.
So you have a good eye.
Correct. And to eye up the yeast process is very important. There are some tricks to the trade. You'll test the bagels by letting them float in boiling water, and if they float too early, then you kind of ruin the dough. They overproof. You want to wait for those bagels to float in that water in about 30 seconds.
So the important thing is, for those of you who want to go out and try to make a bagel, you need to apprentice them with somebody. It's going to take some time. It's not something that you can just say, you know what, I'm going to do it in my house.
Absolutely.
It's not going to happen.
Yes.
So after the bagels have been formed, they go into the refrigerator, and this is how they look before they're baked, correct?
Correct. We bring them into the walk-in to stop the yeast from continually doing its job. We want the yeast to get to a certain point in the dough, and then we want it to stop. The cold air stops that from happening.
I was going to say, this has to be at a certain temperature.
Correct. So now the bagels will stop rising, and here's where they'll stay until tomorrow morning when we bake them. And you can see all of our various bagels, whether it be plain, or poppy, or garlic, or spinach, or cinnamon raisin. All of our bagels are stored here until tomorrow morning, and now we'll show you how the bagels are baked the following morning.
So you have absolute proof that these bagels are baked on premises, that they're manufactured here at the Home of Bagel. Hi, this is day 2 of the bagel process, and we're going to learn how to bake the bagels today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we've shown you how the bagels are made and prepared, and now we come back the next day with our bagels, and we'll show you how the baking process is done. The first thing we'll do is we'll take the bagels out of the retarder or the walk-in, and they'll go into a vat of boiling water. The boiling water seals the bagel and gives it its crispness. So we'll take our bagels out, we'll put them in here. After the kettle, they will go into the oven. So I want to go get Dean's and the bagels.
Just to recap, after the bagels were mixed, they went into the refrigerator for 24 hours, and now they're coming out. Now this process is called...
This is kettling the bagels.
Right. And this is going to do what to the bagels?
This will create a crust. They're in here for 45 to 60 seconds.
Okay. This is day 2, process of bagel making.
And the bagels are floating to the top. Yeah, this process is called kettling the bagels.
Okay.
It's just boiled water, and they're in the kettle for 45 to 60 seconds. And now we're taking them out, and we're putting them on a burlap covered wood. And it's been the same process for many, many years.
Just hand it down to the next person.
Burlap has a high tolerance to extreme heat.
Okay.
And we're baking the bagels at 500 degrees. The new ovens now, just like the modern TVs, everything's electronic. And years ago, they had the coal and the wood ovens. Now everything is modernized with digital. So the bagels are on the burlap, and this is a 5-shelf rotating oven. And this is the same process that's been carried out for many years. And we bake at 500 degrees. So they're in there now rotating. They'll be rotating 3 revolutions, and then I flip the boards, and then they're in there for another 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay. All right. So the whole process takes about a half hour, the cooking process, or
A little less.
a little less? Okay.
And the most important thing is to have fresh bagels every day. We never sell day old. There's no preservatives in them. So the bagels actually after it.
So let me ask you, how early do you have to come in to start baking the bagels? Because most people, they just wake up in the morning, let's say 7 o'clock, and they're here at the door, and they have no idea that you've been here for how many hours up in the morning
Well,
baking?
the process actually starts at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Okay.
where you have to put the oven and kettle on, and it takes about a half an hour.
And you bake all different variety of bagels here?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes,
What are some of the varieties that you have?
well,
My favorite is pumpkin.
pumpkin.
They have pumpkin?
Well, now they have, spinach. Everybody is health conscious today. Spinach is becoming very popular. The everything bagel, the all grain bagels are very popular
Now,
today.
Wheat bagels, they have that?
Well, they do. There's probably 50 varieties of bagels, but we try to make the most popular ones. And we're also open for suggestions around the holidays. We do make the pumpkin bagel.
Okay.
We made the French toast bagel.
Yes.
And coming up
One of my favorites.
with Valentine's Day, we'll make the pink bagel.
Oh,
And also
really?
for breast cancer awareness.
Really nice.
And of
Okay.
course, St.
Very
Patrick's
creative.
Day. St. Patrick's Day, the green bagels
Yes.
are
Okay, I've seen those
are the most popular. Actually, I was on the cover of the Asbury Park Press in 1979 with my green bagels and my St. Patrick's hat.
Let me ask you, what's your favorite bagel?
I would have to say the everything bagel.
The everything
Is-
bagel?
is
What's
my-
on the everything bagel?
It's poppy, sesame, onion, and salt.
Okay.
And it just has a nice flavor. I noticed up north, people like a dark crusty bagel. I opened a bagel shop in Charleston, South Carolina 15, 16 years ago, and they wanted more of a soft, chewy bagel. So in different parts of the country, there's different preferences. But up north, they like the crust, crunchy bagel. So now we're flipping the bagels. And they're going to be in here 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then they'll be ready to come out, and we put them right in the bins for the customer.
I noticed that, I don't see this, is there a timer, you just know?
The timer, I've been doing it so long, it's in my
I
head.
see that, okay. So you know exactly when to take them out and,
Yes, yes.
And then, so after this process is done, flipping of the bagels, what happens?
Well, right now,
I was gonna say, yeah.
Right now, we're done, and again, we fill the bagels in the bins as the day goes on, so we're having fresh bagels. We don't want to run out. We don't want to disappoint
Is there a
anybody.
cooling down process is what I want to know, after the bagels come out?
No, they go right into the bins.
Nice and fresh, right out the oven?
Right in fresh. And the less handling, the less you're losing seeds. So they're going right from the oven into the bins, into the consumer bags.
So what's the best time to come here and get a fresh bagel right out the oven?
I would say from 6 o'clock on.
Okay, you guys open at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock we open up, and then on
Be here
weekends,
that, guys. Be here at 6 a.m. if you want a fresh bagel right out the oven. Go ahead. I'm
yes,
sorry.
and then on weekends, which we are busier, the baking process is ongoing.
Okay.
So you're going to be getting hot bagels throughout the morning.
Yes, in the, every day. This is, how many to bake?
It depends on the weather. It depends on if there's holidays. People now, right before the holidays, they want to bring something to grandma, grandpa, their parents, so they're bringing bagels.
So you go to make more bagels?
Yes.
Are you guys on Facebook? Are you on any social sites where people find you? Where can they find you?
Yes, we are on Facebook.
Under Hole in One Bagel? You can find
Under
like
Hole,
200?
yes,
Okay.
Hole in One Bagel.
Okay.
And years ago, I've been in the bagel business so long, I hand-delivered bagels to Catherine Hepburn.
You did?
And she was down in Homedale visiting a good friend of hers.
Okay.
So,
What happened? She called and said...
well, she wanted my bagels, and I ran over there, and I put on a clean shirt, and I handed her a dozen bagels, and I was able to be with her for about 20 minutes, half an hour.
Did you take pictures?
No.
Did you get her autograph?
No, I didn't get her autograph, and I just remember she was wearing sneakers, and it was, I'll never.
Do you think she can remember you?
I don't, I mean, Catherine Hepburn has passed,
Yeah.
but throughout the years, a number of local celebrities have been in my shop. I've eaten bagels, and I met my wife at the bagel shop, and my great friend
Okay,
said,
so we can make a love connection here at the bagel spot. Sounds good. So one more time, you're on Facebook.
yes.
Are you on any other social sites? Are you on Twitter? Are you any else? Give me, is there, what's the telephone number that you can call?
Jerry
What's
would-
the location?
On 6733.
You're located in the Jumping Brook Plaza.
Yes.
Right here on 33.
It's a great location.
How long have you been here?
We've been here a little over 8 months,
Okay.
and we have plenty of parking. We have easy access with the Garden State Parkway, on and
Absolutely.
off.
Right next to, so when you're going to work, you can just drive into the shopping center, get your bagels, coffee, and keep it moving, right?
Yes,
Because you're right next to the Parkway North and South, so that's a great location.
yes.
Getting in and getting out, you're between 66 on one side. So you're right by Tim Falls. You're easy access to everything.
Yes.
Great spot.
And also, parking is so easy in the shopping center.
Is that why you picked this location?
I think it's just a great spot. We both felt that the area needed a bagel shop, and I think it's been wonderful since we started.
Okay, great.
So
Great. So what's getting ready to happen right now?
I'm going to pull the bagels out of the oven. They've been in here at 500 degrees for around 10 minutes.
Wow.
And these are the cinnamon raisin bagels.
They look delicious.
And they're going right into the bins. This is one of the cinnamon bagels I just took out of the oven. Here, why don't you try it?
Smells delicious.
It's
I get to taste it, to do a taste test. It is very hot. Cinnamon raisin, one of my favorites. Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Thank you for coming out and visiting our bagel store today. We've also gone out beyond the bagel store, going to schools. My daughter is a math teacher, and I brought bagel dough, and we were talking about quantities, ounces and pounds, and it's been very educational.
And I'd like to thank you for being on the BBPN Show today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.